Hello, Gareth here, and we're going to do our third wash. So, first of all, wet your paper and use a big brush. This is actually too small, and a brush this size, a mop brush, will be better because you can quickly wet your whole paper. But if you've only got a little mop brush like this, then just use a lot more water. And remember, our paper is tilted. That's very important. So the water is running down. And for this one, I'm not using Canson XL because I'm going to be doing some quite difficult stuff. And when you start to do slightly more difficult stuff, it's better to use the real watercolor paper like Saunders or Strathmore. I'll show you what that is in a min. So first of all, there we go. We've wet the paper. Let's pick up some yellow ochre. I love yellow ochre. We don't use yellow because if we're going to have blue in the sky, the blue and the yellow will make green, and we don't want green. But with yellow ochre, it's a bit more resistant. It doesn't quickly go green. So like that, I begin here in the middle, and then I make it a little bit thicker about here. There we go. And then get some alizarin crimson. To be honest, it's almost like cooking this. And once again, I'm not mixing my colours in the palette, I'm mixing them on the paper because they look far more brilliant that way. And then right at the bottom, I think I'll do a bit of burnt sienna. So let's relax and just enjoy doing a wash. Isn't that beautiful? Now quickly, let's go to the top, and I'm going to use a mix of cerulean with a touch of phthalo blue just to give it a bit of strength. And put this on the top. Look at that. So you can have a go with Canson XL at first just to get the hang of it, right? But just to warm up, but then you want to use some good stuff for this. Look at that, isn't that just beautiful? Of course it is going to fade, so I perhaps should have done it all a bit stronger. If it looks a bit too much, then when it dries off, it will fade and it will probably look better. And you can do this. This is a new thing I haven't shown you yet. Leave gaps between these blue lines. And look at that. It looks kind of wispy, beautiful. Isn't that just, you know, fantastic? So now for the tricky bit. You wash your brush. You wipe it on the rag. So important. You get a thick mix, something like cerulean blue. Let's wipe out a clean space. And maybe a slight touch of something. What should we add? Alizarin crimson, just a touch. You have to be so careful with this stuff, just to give it a slightly purple look. There we go. And now it looks a bit too wet still. So look at this. I dab the brush on my rag. That's so important. Just gets rid of a bit of excess water. Because if we've got too much water on the brush and too much water on the paper, it's going to explode. So here we go, a little touch. Now remember, the paper is drier at the top and wetter at the bottom because the water's running down. Now that's still a bit too wet. Now I'm just going to show you what I did, because good artists always prepare. This is not straight off. That's one I've already done and I'm very happy with that. This is one I did on Canson XL and I think you can see the difference. It's not going to be as good, but for a warm-up it's not bad. And shall I show you this? Now this is so embarrassing. I don't want to show you this, but look at this. Goodness me, that was my very first one. So just look at that and just think, if your painting ends up like that, Gareth did too. But what Gareth did was go and do another painting. Yeah, so remember that. I really don't want to show you that, right? But being honest, and hopefully it will help you and encourage you if it doesn't go as well as you want. It happens to all of us. Okay, so now it's perfect. Can you see that? The soft edge, it's not expanding very much. And now I've got to shut up and just do a few strokes because it's drying out super quick now. And you really don't want to do too many of these. In fact, maybe that's enough. And then this is the tricky bit. This is the scary bit, guys. We're going to get our bamboo brush wet, then wipe it. Whatever you do, wipe it. And then we're going to use some brilliant orange. In fact, red might be better. Okay, shall we go for alizarin crimson? Could be a mistake. And then we're just going to touch it underneath like that. So you see me use my rag there, just wipe off. Now this doesn't look quite right, does it? But still, let's just go with it, because this is the main thing that I want to teach you, is how to do this lovely little warm light under blue clouds, you know, at dusk when the sun's gone down, but it's still catching the clouds underneath. And if you look at that now, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think we should just do a blue here though. You know, you get a kind of wall of blue at the bottom. So make this thick, use my rag, get rid of excess water, and this is pure blue. And the reason is because when I mix this with all these burnt sienna colours and stuff like that, it's going to get tainted. It's going to change. So if it was more of a purple colour, it would become even muckier, and we don't want that. It might have been a good idea if I didn't even paint a colour at the bottom, or made it weaker, or just pure red, because where it's in the red bit it looks okay, doesn't it? But here it looks a little bit kind of browny. It works, not that bad. But there we go, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful glowing sky with this underlighting of the clouds. So have a go, and just remember, enjoy it, and if you muck it up, just have another go. Shall I show you my previous painting? Look, if I've got the courage to show you this, then you've got the courage to have a go, right? I mean, look at that. That's the first one I did this morning. Okay, and now this is what I've got. So, and also, just, I know I keep saying Canson XL is good for practice, but watercolor paper, true watercolor paper, is better for getting good results. I hope you can see that by looking at these two papers. This is the Canson and this is the watercolor. So don't just use Canson, have a combination of this multimedia stuff for just, you know, warming up, having a go, not so stressed, and then when you're ready, do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and have a go on the real watercolor paper. So I hope that was helpful. Have fun, and bye for now.